And one of the main applications for this unit is figuring out, like, how hard would it be to break into your bank account knowing your password? How hard is it to find out somebody's PIN on their card, on their bank card? How many license plates do we need in Manitoba? And why in Ontario do they have an extra letter in their license plate now more than we do? Because they ran out of license plates. So how can you count these things quickly to figure out how many you're going to need? So here's an online banking account. You need to have 2 letters followed by 5 digits. All letters and digits may be used more than once, and we want to figure out how many different passwords are possible. So if I tried to break into your password, how long would it take me to find that out? Well, first of all, how many decisions do we need to make for making this password? Because we have to figure out how many spaces. 7. So we draw 7 spaces. And under each one, for this unit, you'll have to do little explanations for every question. It's required on the final exam that whenever you're doing a permutations combination question, that you give a brief explanation what you're doing. Failure to do a brief explanation is one of the error codes that they take a half mark off at the end. So on this one, your brief explanation can be as brief as this. This is going to be a letter. And after I write letter once, I'm going to put L for letter next. And then the next 5 are digits. And they would probably be fine. They'd probably be fine if you use 2 L's and 5 D's right away. They'd probably say, I understand what you're doing. And that is enough explanation for this kind of question. So when you hear the word explanation, if you're thinking English, you're thinking about writing an essay, and you're thinking math, it's good enough to just do a couple letters here and there. Now, how many letters do we have as choices for our first one? 26 letters in the alphabet. And if you're allowed to use letters more than once for the second one, you would also have 26 letters. How many digits are there? 10, right? 1 through 9 and also 0. So there'd be 10 choices here, 10 choices here, 10 choices here, 10 choices here, 10 choices here. And this is 67,600,000 when it's all multiplied out. Just going to double check that. Good. Mental math for the day. Oh, I didn't give you the questions for the last one, did I? I'll give you questions for this one. 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 16. And we're going to do 16 together since we have a little bit of time. And for question number 1 that I didn't write down before, 3, 4, 6, 11, and 12. This is from number 1. Basically, they're all fundamental counting principle questions. I'm going to pull up number 16 right now so that we can do it together. Oh, mine just stopped working too. We're gonna do 16 together. So 3 couples go to see a movie. Ooh, in Winnipeg. It's nice. They sit together in 6 consecutive seats and the couples sit together. How many ways could they be arranged? This is this one. Could, but we can do this one just using the spaces technique. So far we've only learned one strategy. So as far as picking what strategy to use, This is easy so far. We've learned one strategy, and that's the strategy we have to use. So we're going to start with drawing some spaces. How many decisions have to be made? 6, because there's 6 decisions, 6 spaces, 6 people sitting in chairs. So if these are the 6 seats, because you have to make a decision who sits in this one, then who sits in this one, then who sits in this one. How many people could sit in the first one? Anybody could sit there, right? Now, how many people can sit next to that person?
Just their partner.
Just their partner, right? Because they're couples. It says here that the couples have to sit together. So I put anybody in that first seat, that's okay. But once I pick that, there's only one person that can sit next to them. Then there's only going to be 4 people left. It doesn't matter who sits here, right? Anybody that's left. I have 4 people left. I have 4 choices for that space. And then 1 again. Then 2. Then 1. So this is one way to solve this question. Later on, as we learn more strategies, we'll learn other ways of thinking about this question and solving it as well. So 6 times 4 times 2, 48 ways. One thing we're going to find out in this unit is we're going to do some questions where we're going to be able to count to like 70 million very quickly. We can do the subway one. We have time right now. Maybe we can do subway right now.
We have time.
We have time for subway. And some other times we'll spend a lot of time thinking and we'll count to like 7 and find out the final answer is 7. Okay, well, we'll do subway because subway is an excellent one because when you go to subway, you have to make decisions and you have lots of choices. So I once thought, what would it be like if Subway actually printed a menu? So instead of going through and saying yes and no, you could just order a sub from the menu, right? With pick the sauce, pick the sandwich. There would be one that's listed that is everything but tomatoes, but there'd also be a sandwich that's listed that you wanted, like your what is that? What are some of the ones that are like the turkey breast one with just lettuce and green peppers? And a cold cut trio with 3 of them. How many different things would we have to put on the menu in order to figure this out? So, decisions. What would be our first decision? Bread. How many choices of bread do we have? 7 choices of bread. Then, after you choose bread, you've got to choose one of the sandwiches, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then we'll get to the cheese and stuff. So how many do you, just roughly, how many sandwich options do you think they have across the menu? 13? What's that? Yeah, you have to choose 6-inch or foot long.
Oh, yeah, or a 3-inch. Oh, yeah.
Or they have a 3-inch one now, so there's 3 choices there.
What is the big birthday size? Would it be like 8?
Next thing they ask you is cheese, right? How many choices of cheese are there? 13, like, that's their, like, cold cut trio, pizza sub, like which one you're going to pick.
For me, 4 or 5. Yeah, I think either 4 or 5. Shredded, matzo, Monterey Jack.
Shredded, matzo, Monterey Jack. And no cheese, you can also choose not to. So we'll put 5. Okay? Not going to be exact, but we're going to get the basic idea. After you pick cheese, you pick toasted or not toasted, right? 2 choices for toasted or not toasted. What happens after that? Vegetables. How many different vegetables are there? There's about 12 of them, don't you think?
Yeah, there's a 20.
Now, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, because each vegetable, you pick it or you don't. Well, this would include none of them because this is, I don't pick.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's sauces. How many sauces are there?
7. Well, there's mayo light.
Right, so, but you could, if you wanted to, get mayo light and mayo, right? 8 of them, so each one of those you either have or don't have. We'll put salt and pepper on there, right? Salt, pepper,
Salt and pepper.
salt and pepper, or none. Okay. Anything else as far as going on your sandwiches? So this is just an estimate, but if you put this in, and multiply all those numbers together, you can only imagine how big their menu would be. And you'd be flipping through it. I haven't had a 3,552,000 for a long time. I was really feeling like that. And then you could order it that way. This would also include, and was it last year that we were joking about this? To go into Subway, we'd like to set up a camera and have it so you go into Subway and you're like, you pick your bread and they say, what kind? I'll have the veggie sub. Okay, so no meat goes on there. And you want kind of cheese? No, no cheese. And they go through all the veggies. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that. And you get to the sauces and you say yes to every sauce. I just love to see the person's, because they just have a piece of bread and every sauce on that.
They definitely make you pay.
Yeah. But it would be very entertaining to watch them. Well, a veggie sub. It'd be a veggie sub without any veggies. I guess you could ask for one jalapeno right in the middle.